Okay, video 2. Now, I know this sheet caused a lot of controversy. You didn't like my curvy lines, and I apologise for that. But I didn't want to change it, so deal with it. We're going to go through the 3 different things. We're going to look at AD shifts, short-run AS shifts, and long-run AS shifts. Now, I'm telling you right now, if you can do this bit, you are sorted on the course. You really are. I know some of you don't know this, so make sure you listen to this. But I'm going to start off with the causes. So AD shifts are caused by a change in C plus I plus G plus X minus M. Now remember what they all mean. C stands for consumer spending, I stands for investment, which is spent by firms on capital goods, G stands for government spending, and X stands for exports. So they're all things that can increase AD. Now M, because it's minus, if imports go up, that'll make AD go down. Right, for the diagram, whenever you're changing AD, just make sure you fully label it, obviously, but first of all, do the curvy AS line. Now this is called the Keynesian AS line, but don't worry about it, it's just the short run and long run put together. Right, so if demand was down here, AD down here, and then suddenly there's an increase in AD, you'd make AD shift to the right, because remember left is less, and you do some dotted lines, and we'll go for P1, P2, Y1 and Y2. Okay, so what, in the bottom bit it says what happens to the economy. Whenever anyone asks you what happens to the economy, you just go through Tiger. I can't really fit Tiger in, so I'm going to put, there we are. Right, so will it be good for our trade balance? Now if you look at this, you could argue it might not be because our price level's gone up. If our price level goes up, our goods will look less competitive abroad, so people might not buy our products. So we've got bad for trade balance. Second, is it good for inflation? No. As you can see, the price level went up, so it is bad for inflation. Is it good for growth? Right, GDP has gone up, which means it's going to be cause short-run growth. Why is it not called long-run growth? Now, if you remember that from the lesson, it can only be long-run growth if the AS line, I'll do this in a different colour, if the AS line shifts outwards. That's the only way it can be called long-run growth. So, as that diagram doesn't do it, we don't have to do that. I'll just get rid of that. Can I get rid of it? No? Oh well. Right. So, is it good for employment? Yes, it's good for employment because there'll be a reduction in cyclical unemployment. This is what, because if demand goes up, that means there'll be more demand for goods. If there's more demand for goods, there'll be more demand for workers, because demand for workers is derived from demand for goods. And then the rest we don't care about. Right, so that's AD done. Maybe have a little pause, have a little break, think, do I know what he's chatting about? Now go on to short-run AS shifts. Now the causes of a short-run AS shift is just a change in a firm's cost of production. Just so you know, the short run is meant to be when one factor of production is fixed, or at least one. Don't worry about that, this is a fact. Normally it's capital. And the reason why they say that is sometimes, like in the short run, you can't just suddenly make more factories. You're stuck. So if certain things of cost of production goes up, it's going to mean you can't supply as much. Right, for the diagram, this is that weird diagram where it's the only time you do a straight AS line. Oops, and you call it the short-run AS. Right, so if a firm's cost of production goes up, then the short-run AS line is going to go to the left. So it's SRAS 2 there. Just label it all quickly. Don't go away. Right. Now, what sort of things could make a firm's cost of production go up? Remember, there are 3 things you could say, really. It can be things like raw materials. Going into my next bit, that's annoying. Raw materials, what else? Wages. And the final one was corporation tax. Okay. There we are. So what happens in the economy? Let's go through Tiger again. So I'll put T-I, that's annoying, G-E. I won't even bother to put the R. Okay, so is it going to be good for our trade balance? It's unlikely because firms aren't producing as much and the price level's going up. So that's bad. Is it going to be good for inflation? No, it's going to cause cost push inflation. Is it going to be good for growth? No, because our real GDP is going down. And is it going to be good for employment? No, there's going to be an increase in cyclical unemployment. So a decrease in short-run AS is bad for the economy. Right, don't go away. Let's get rid of that and rub it out. Right, third bit, long-run AS. And I'm assuming some of you have already quit the video, you're thinking, this man's boring, but just push on for this final bit. Right, a long run AS shift means the productive capacity can't put it in. Productive capacity of the economy has increased. So the causes are, remember, Q squared cell. So that means the quantity or quality of cell have increased. Now, cell stands for the factors of production. So it's either capital, enterprise, land, or labour have increased. Either increase the amount of them or improved in quality. The best one I like to say is labour, because you can say two things. One, immigration. If there was an immigration, there'd be an increase in the quantity of labourers. Second one, if there was an increase in education and training, that would improve the quality of workers. Now, both these things could do this. They could both cause the AS line to shift outwards. So that's AS1 and that's AS2. The best place to put the demand line is quite high up like that, because it will allow you to do good dotted lines like that. Now, is this good for the economy? Is it good for trade balance? Yes, because our price level is going down. Is it good for inflation? Again, yes, because our price level is going down. Is it good for growth? Yes, because this is proper economic growth. You call it true economic growth or long-run economic growth. This is because the economy is actually growing, as well as real GDP going up. I can't fit it in. Right, and then finally, is it good for employment? Yeah, but it's only good for employment if demand keeps up with supply. If not, there'll be a really big output gap. Okay, that video was only 6 minutes 40, so you should be pleased with that. If that doesn't make any sense, come see me.